All right, y'all. So y'all know I'm over here on this one that's out here in Gay, Georgia. It's a pretty big one. Let me pull the camera off here for a minute. So y'all know I do this one. Y'all seen this one before, but his sister lives in that house right back there, and she wants me to do hers, but she doesn't really want to. She's not used to having to pay somebody like he's paying me. This was 150, and he said hers is about the same size, and so I told him I'd do hers for 152. But she's been trying to get me to come over there and do the hedges over there. Well, the whole time I've been doing this property here, and every time she sees my truck over here, she's calling him and bugging the hell out of him, and that's what he says anyway. So apparently she's having problems with her yard guy. Because, well, it's probably her more than anything. She's going to have to spend more than what she wants to spend. And, you can't live on, 30 acres of land and be chumping the lawn guy off if you want it to look nice and neat. So he told me, he came out and just flagged me down and said, hey, man, how much will you charge if you took that one on? How much would you charge to do it? And I said, well, I don't know how big it is. It's the same size as this one. I said, okay, $150, No shame in my game, straight up. I said, but it can't be. I'll have to, do it every 2 weeks. See, these customers, the customers that ain't never experienced a guy like me, they don't want to pay good money, and they don't want to be consistent. It's one or the other. Usually both. They don't want to pay good, and they want to call you when they get ready. This yard right here, I do every 2 weeks like clockwork. I don't miss a beat. We don't ever have no problem with the money, the timing, or nothing. It's every 2 weeks like clockwork. If he's home, cool. If he ain't home, I don't give a damn. I'm still coming every 2 weeks. And if they want to incorporate that one in over here too, then I'll do that one too. But she's not going to be able to play games with the timing. So I'm fixing to move my truck out of the way so I can get some of these little cubby holes, and I'm going to spray. And then he told me to holler at him before I leave, because she may want me to take that one on. So, but it'll be 2 weeks before I do it. I'm not going to do it today. Well, I don't know. I might do it today. Yeah, what time is it? No, I ain't doing it today. It's 1 o'clock, man. I'm ready to go eat Sammy. So, the thing is, she wants more than anything, she wants me to do her hedges over there, because she saw us do this bush job here, and she sees my truck here every 2 weeks. But see, if you're not paying for me to come consistently, you're not going to benefit from all the things that I can do. Number one, I'm not going to let you, if you only want me to cut your shit one time, then I'm not going to be doing everything that I do if I know I'm coming back. If I know I'm coming back to a property, well, that's a whole nother ball game there, because then I know what I'm going to be doing. So, and I'm going to set myself up for success. That's why this property is so easy. What you have to do in this game when you're doing the bigger properties, and the one doesn't have all the manicured details, and you want the mower to do all the work, you got to do things that are going to help you for the next trip. It's a given that I'm here on this trip. That's a given. So now, once I get done mowing what I need to mow, at this point, what I do now is, okay, I spend about 10 minutes doing things that are going to help me on the next trip. And most of the time it's spraying, and then I get to charge for the spray. So, I don't know what she's used to. I think she's used to having Chuck come over there and Chuck charge her, $60 to cut, 3 acres. And I'm not going to do that. We're going to cut, if it's 2.5, 3 acres, I'm going to get $150. It ain't 3 acres, it's probably 2. I'm going to get $150 no matter what. But I'm not going to, it's either $150 every 2 weeks or nothing at all. That's the way it's got to be. And I'll take it on the rest of this year, go on and build a rapport with her, good or bad. And if I don't like it, then I'm out for the next year. So they need somebody to cut these big properties, and they're not going to be able to just chump somebody like me off like they can whoever they got cutting it. But that's the reason why they ain't got nobody, regular cutting it, but they're not vested in it like I am. I'm vested in the bigger properties because I got the bigger equipment, and I know how to manage these properties in a way to where they never get out of whack. And some owners have never seen nothing like that. You know, they've either cut it themselves, or they've had their son-in-law cut it, or they had Chuck come cut it for, you know, whenever Chuck had time. You know, and Chuck might not be a full-time landscaper. So Chuck come over here and cut it. She'd chump him off $60 and then another $20 to do the bushes. I don't do that. You know, and she does that when she get ready, not when it needs it, or not when I say. I never do the properties, even though yesterday y'all saw that, but I don't normally do that kind of thing. I only did that, well, y'all know, because they're already a customer. So, his sister is going to have to pay me just like he pays me. And he's not going to be able to cry about nothing either, or I'll drop her. I'm doing fine without her property. She's the one that's running me down trying to get me to do her property. And he knows how hard his sister is to deal with. That's why he's been skeptical about turning her on to me, because he's told me, he said, well, she ain't going to want to pay. He said, and I'm like, he's told me this in the past, she's not going to want to pay like I pay. I said, well, I'm not going to want to do it then, you know, because there's just too much work out here that where people are grateful. And the older generation, they don't value, you know, what it costs to do these properties. And it costs a lot more now than what it did back in the 70s to do these properties, you know, because fuel and time and energy, effort, and the equipment. I got an $18,000 lawnmower right here. I don't cut no 2 acres for less than what I charge him. And she's gonna have to let me spray. I'm not gonna be over there spending an hour weed eating every time I come for the same money. And see, we're gonna have to have all that up front. And sometimes the yard needs it more than other times. She's not gonna be able to put me off not one time. If she puts me off one time, I'm not doing it no more. And that's what I'll tell her. Because since I already kind of know her personality based on what her brother has told me, then I'm gonna go to her very direct. And that's how it's gonna have to be. If she don't like it, she can keep Chuck cutting it, you know. Well, Chuck ain't cutting it today. Chuck ain't cut it last week either. Now Chuck is MIA. That's because it's a challenge for Chuck to cut it, and it's a challenge for him to cut it for that money that she's probably willing to pay. I think he said, and you know, I don't know for sure, that she was paying Chuck $75 to cut it, and I'm at $150, so that's double. Of course, Chuck ain't cutting it every 2 weeks. Chuck's cutting it, you know. She said that Chuck's spending freaking 4 hours over there. I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna do a regular 150, and I'll spray, and she'll pay extra for the spray, and I will not have to spend, you know, 20 minutes weed eating either. I gotta be able to be on the mower on these big properties. And so if they're against spraying or got any kind of religious fanatical thing about spraying, then they ain't for me. If they got something that they want to weed eat, I don't mind getting off on weed eating here and there, but it's not going to be a hardcore weed eating for 30 minutes. I'll spend 10 or 15 minutes weed eating, but it ain't going to be hardcore. And sometimes I'll skip weed eating based on how good the spray works. But anyway, I got to get the spray this one, weed eat up around the mailbox, weed eat around that telephone pole, hit a little line going down the edge of the driveway, and that's a wrap. Peace out. Okay, y'all, so I'm fixing to ride over here to the neighbor with the brother, the man that owns this house, and I'm gonna put the camera in my pocket, and yeah, I'm gonna let y'all hear what's going on, man. So yeah. All right, camera's going in my pocket. Make sure that she understands and you understand, and you can tell her if she doesn't understand from me, it's every 2 weeks, because I don't want to come out here and do it.
That's all she wants, is every 2 weeks somebody cut the grass, and when they need trimming, tell what you cost to trim them.
Yeah, if I'm over here doing the yard and we can trim them, I mean, we're not talking about big money to trim them, because
it's just right here.
Yeah, because
maybe one of the on the side.
Touch the top. I mean, touch the top of that. That's nothing, man. All right. Judy, how you doing? Oh, the dog ain't gonna bite me. Hey, Killer.
Skippy.
Come on in. That's Skippy.
Okay,
Sure? Kind of dirty, but not real dirty. Hey there, Judy. What's up? How you doing?
Well, I hope I wasn't getting better.
So,
I've been down too long.
after looking at it and everything, I'm thinking 140, but if I, the first time, like 135 after that. But I gotta be able to do it every 2 weeks. And it's like clockwork, because I can't come and do his and not do yours, or vice versa. And if we can do it like that, and you got a lawn guy, okay, I'm not gonna leave all that brown stuff in the yard though.
No.
Now, when we do the bushes, you wanna touch the bushes?
I want them sort of shaped.
Yeah, just take, I see what you're saying. They're not bad right now.
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying. We probably charge like $20 to do that.
Okay.
Whenever you say, hey, I want to do the bushes, hit the bushes. We don't want to let them get real bad, because then it takes a bunch of time.
Right.
We want to be able to just touch them and keep moving,
Right.
Then that minimizes the labor to clean up.
It's gonna be a little extra money the first time.
Yeah.
Get rid of these weeds behind the bushes.
Yeah, I
And
understand.
weeds in front, so it's gonna be a little bit extra.
Yeah.
Once he gets done, the first initial visit,
Yeah.
and he'll do a little more, then it'll probably drop down a little bit.
See, and each time I come, I'm always thinking about tomorrow.
Right.
So I'm preparing his yard every time I come for the next cut.
Right.
Not today, the next cut. So I'm spraying and doing a lot of little things that'll help me not have to spend half a day over there.
I understand.
And so that's the thinking. Like in the front there, I'll see behind the bushes, you got all that growth.
Well, see, I hadn't had any sun game. I couldn't get nobody to do anything.
So what I can do is in 2 weeks, when I come, we'll get rid of all that. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And then what I'll do is I'll spray that.
Okay.
And then every so often, I'll probably come to you and say, hey, help me out with the spray a little bit, because I'm not going to charge you each time I spray. I'm going to do that to save labor.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That's fine. Yeah.
And I think that's, and then, you don't have to worry. Biggest thing is you don't have to worry about it no more.
Yeah.
So they are made to go to do big properties like this. And they're not going to leave a bunch of brown stuff on the yard like that. And then what we'll do over time, we'll touch the edges of everything, the edges of the driveway over time.
Okay.
Little bit by little bit by little, by the third cut, that's when you'll really say, oh, now we're getting somewhere, and I don't have all these weeds growing through the cracks. I don't have, because that's the kind of thing that I like to do. I like to maintain.
I moved it when we were in the city, I had it done all the time, and I was used to having a nice, pretty.
Right, and this is a big property too, it's a lot for you to take care of.
Yeah.
And I know I might be more expensive than the other guy, but I don't really know, I know what I bring, and you're not going to have to worry about it no more.
Right. Well, all he does is go through the grass, and he does very little weed eating.
Yeah,
Very
if he's doing very little weed eating, then he needs to be doing more spraying.
Right.
You got to do one or the other. See, what I do is I'll weed eat particular spots over there, that like around the mailbox and that kind of thing. But then I'll spray in the beds.
Yeah.
So because weed eating in the beds does no good.
No.
I can weed eat it today. There'll be weeds growing back tomorrow. But if we spray, that gives us a breather.
Right.
And so in the back behind, I noticed just in the back behind these bushes on the house side, see, we would knock all that down, and then we would just keep it sprayed,
Okay.
and then we'll just go from there.
Yeah.
So
I understand.
you good?
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, I'm grateful and thankful, and we'll see you in 2 weeks from today.
Okay.
And or are you? How do you feel about working on Sunday? It don't matter.
No, you
Because
go
sometimes-
right ahead.
Sometimes it's the rain and stuff.
I hadn't been able to go to church in about a year anyway, so church is not gonna miss me a Sunday.
All right, so we'll be over here in 2 weeks. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. Now I got all in the family here.
Yeah. Yeah, he has to put up, well, I already putting up with him since he was a baby.
Uh-oh. Well, just know this. You don't have to worry about the lawn no more.
Okay.
Okay? So take that off your worry plate. Okay? Thank you so much. We'll see you later. So y'all heard anyway. That's gonna be, dude. That yard's gonna be easier than this one. Yeah, for sure. A lot easier, man. It'd take me two or three trips. If it needed cutting right now, I'd cut it right now. Because I can cut that yard. I'll be able to cut that yard in half the time I cut this one. That's what I'm saying. You never know what you're going to get into out here, if you can get the yards like this, another big yard I done picked up, $140 a pop, and I might be able to do it a little bit cheaper, but she's only paying the other guy $60, and that's what I was saying. I thought that. You're gonna have to spend to get me to do it, man. And you gotta know your value, man. You know, I'm not, after yesterday, it just refortified, you know, my thinking. You know, I was gonna make sure that she knew exactly what the scoop is before I come out. I could do both of these, man, in just a couple of hours by myself, no labor involved. I could. I'll probably bring some labor out here the first time or two. Let me get a bearing on everything and what her expectations are. But yeah, another customer, and that's gonna be a customer until, and you know, as long as, you know, she seemed pretty nice, but he said, like y'all probably heard in the video, you know, I just had the camera in my pocket, man. Sometimes she has good days and bad days. She said she had a pretty good day today, it seemed like, so you never know. Yeah, I'm gonna order Miss, I'm leaving here now. I'm gonna order Miss Sammy and come home. Man, another customer in July. I can't believe that dude's doing that yard for $60, man. More than double. She's gonna pay more than double. That's how. We'll see how that works out. I will say this right now on 7/22 that I'm a little bit skeptical about her actually following through on the double the money. It's actually more than double the money. It's $140. And that'll do that on the first cut. Let me see what all it's going to take, and then I may be able to go down a little bit for her, because hers is not quite as big as his. I may be able to get to 130, but I don't think I'll be able to do it cheaper than 130. And since I'm already out there doing his, you see, but she's gonna have to take a little lump on the first cut, and I got to make sure that she's, you know, consistently wants me to cut it. So I pulled up out there in 2 weeks, and it's been cut like it is now. And see, I'm not going to want to entertain doing that again, because I just wasted 20 minutes of my time talking to her. So I hope, you know, but yeah, it is what it is, man.